we're bringing too much fire here for them.
We
And
broke the internet.
yeah, we may have broken the internet. We'll see if we can
I knew I
um,
shouldn't have flexed on camera. Oh
one
God,
way or
every
another.
every time.
All right, I'm going to double check that we are all good to go. Hopefully, and if I have to create a stream to make sure that everyone is all caught up, we can do so. Please bear with us here for a moment.
Oh my God, 74 signups today.
Wow.
Are we alive?
Um, let me double check if we are good to go here, folks. Please bear with us. It looks like. Oh, hopefully, hoping somebody can confirm if we are all good to go here. Let me see here. I feel like our stream had
Are we good?
possibly
Oh,
ended.
we got a thumbs
Oh,
up.
it looks like we might be back in business. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you, guys. Apologize, I'm not.
Want to give him a minute to come back in?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get everyone back up and.
I won't flex this time.
He starts flexing, and then all of a sudden, internet and everything else goes haywire. So hopefully we are back and good to go, everyone. We'll give everyone just a moment to rejoin. I apologize about that. We have some of the best internet anywhere in the country, and yet somehow it's still messing with us for the live stream. Thankfully, it wasn't doing any of that for our stream earlier on the Disc Golf Network here. Let me see if I can make sure that we are all good. Clicking on a few things, and I will also put out the new link. Hang on as I handle all the tech support for myself. All right, we're gonna go here and see if we can get a do that. So hopefully we are set here. Looking at one of our paused moments
Yes, I
from
love it.
before. All right, I think we're good. I apologize, everyone. I'm not sure what had happened here, but it looks like we're all good. So also, I'd love to know where we last were in conversation, where we might have missed you guys before we
Excuse me.
cut out. Let me see if I can find out where that exactly was. All right, we were rambling on about um, the different divisions and where the spotlight is, and that's a good note to just move on from there.
Perfect.
If you want the spotlight, go into the two premier men's and women's divisions and play the best golf. That's how you get the spotlight. Is that a
Yeah,
fair
that's the
summation?
way it works.
All right. So you were just talking about how you've you're offering up these clinics and the seminars, but you also were doing something here at the beginning of this event, and you were doing a clinic with a very specific user group in mind. Who is that, and what were you doing?
Yeah, so I went out to the to Hetlinger Developmental Services. I taught a class for kids and adults with special needs. Actually, these were all adults with developmental disabilities. A bunch of volunteers came out. Diversified Disc Golf came out, as well as a handful of other volunteers. So I didn't do it alone. And it's actually my 281st Blue Power event.
Wow.
281 classes for kids and adults with special needs. I have not done it in a year and a half because of COVID.
Okay.
And only just recently, after being vaccinated, and the more we learn that when you're outside and you're vaccinated, we're starting to realize we can do things safely.
Sure.
I'm starting to do them again now. So it was, I missed it.
Yeah, and for a clinic of that nature, what roughly is the size? I mean, because it varies greatly, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
well, we had 30 something players, but we break it into groups of 8 to 10.
Okay.
That's about the right size group.
Yeah.
And it's basically, I just teach the fundamental ideas of disc golf. You take the disc, you throw it towards the object, you make progress, you pick up the disc, you advance, you make progress with a goal in mind. And the thing about disc golf and about adaptive disc golf is that a 40-foot hole to one individual is the same as an 800-foot hole to Eagle McMahon.
Sure.
It's the exact same game. I mean, it's literally the exact same game. The
Hmm.
only difference is the distance and accuracy of the throw, but it's golf.
Yep.
So you can adapt it to any level. I don't just go out and putt. That's not golf.
Sure.
We play a hole, but we adapt the hole.
Yeah, and even at the most basic level, when I was introduced to disc golf or frisbee golf, I was throwing a frisbee into a red grocery basket at camp.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was, frisbee golf. That was disc golf in some
Hmm.
capacity, doing, the skill sets that you referenced. And of
Hmm.
course, it was in, on a 1 acre plot. So, I mean, it wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't it's a long stretch from where we are today. Um, so people can sign up. They can find you on scottstokely.net. They can find out where all of the information, the clinics, um, if they're too lazy to go click on that right now, where are you next?
Oh God, I
Do
have
you know? Do
what?
you need to check your
God, I have
your site?
Oklahoma City on Sunday, and then 5 seminars in Texas next week. But those are all the actual seminars that are sold out.
Okay.
So as
Okay.
far as where I'm making my next like the tournament is the Norman Pro Am.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do have to check. I've
And then you don't know.
I've I will finish a tournament sometimes and not know. I literally don't know what state I'm going to until I'm after the tournament. I check my schedule. I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to
Yeah. East.
Baltimore.
We're
Hey,
going west. Yeah, we're going somewhere.
yeah,
Okay. In other news, before we let you go, you have recently released your book in audio format. Is that correct?
yeah,
Was that done in the last couple weeks?
yeah. It came out about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Will McCaskill
Yep.
at the last podcast studio did all the engineering for me.
Okay.
Let's see. Hey, one thing I do want to announce, and this is something that I've struggled with even how to announce this, and uh, in fact, I didn't announce it for the first month because I wasn't sure how to say it without it. It's I don't know, man. I'll tell you what we're doing, and you can tell you
You tell us. What do you
maybe you
got? You
understand why
got
it's hard.
you're always cooking up an initiative. You're
Yes.
always benefiting others. So share with the world
So
whatever.
starting back on April 1st, I've begun asking tournament directors at every tournament I play to donate my prize money to a local autism organization.
Okay.
For the rest of the year, every tournament I play, I won't be playing for prize money. I'll be playing with all my money being donated to an organization. And I don't know how to share that because things get perceived as, oh, he just wants a pat on the back, or he just, and I mean, and by the way, I love praise. I love people saying they're proud of me. It makes me feel good, but that's not why I do it.
Sure.
My biggest motivation, aside from wanting to help the communities, is trying to have a motivation to practice and compete
Yeah.
and having something to play for. And I've only lost once since I started doing this because it gets me out on the practice field now. And finally, someone had to convince me. They said, "Look, when an NFL player starts a foundation, they tell people about it. It's not bad. It gets people to get involved and maybe do things themselves." So I'm sharing it, but like kind of grudgingly. Uh,
Well, no, it's something you
does that
should.
make sense? So
It,
like it's
I understand. You're wanting to be humble about it, but at the same time, it
I
should
want to
be
spread the
it,
word.
it should be recognized, and you should be spreading the word. And there's so many communities then that are going to benefit from your effort, from your energies. I feel like there will be people that will that much more rally around behind what you're doing because there's absolutely no downside to that, like none.
Right.
I can't if yeah, none. So the fact that you're doing it is incredible. It's very generous of you. And yeah, and again, I can't think of how it could otherwise benefit you because you're giving away your money or the money that's been won, and then you turn around and support a local organization with it. I just
Yeah.
cannot see a downside to
Yeah.
that.
And well, I don't accept donations. I've never accepted donations. If anybody wants to support what I do, I always encourage them to donate locally.
Sure.
I'm a real big fan. Uh, well, let me back up. I love the major organizations, the major large organizations for autism, and I mean they go to Washington and they lobby for policy changes that benefit millions of people, right? So they do such a great job. But if you want to donate $50, it's kind of gets lost with the big.
Sure.
But if there's an assisted living house or I mean, a small local organization, like you send them $50, their response will be, "Oh my God, we needed this thing. We didn't have $50 for it."
Sure. Yeah.
So if you want to support me, support it locally. So I'm going to start announcing each organization that I'm playing for, and then if people want to support what if they think it's cool, cool. Contact the organization, send them your money.
Yeah, and I think that's great too because I think you're right, it's at a larger scale in terms of how disc golf kind of got involved with specifically with St. Jude a few years ago. And now that is an organization that once I learned more about it through disc golf, that's become my default. Now there's other great organizations
Mhm.
and charities, of course, but I think there's a lot of disc golfers that just out of default think, well, if I want to donate money, oh yeah, I know of St. Jude because disc golf's been involved with St. Jude. And I think you're bringing awareness to more organizations wherever they go. And so if someone says, if you say, hey, I'm donating to a local charity that benefits autism or autism awareness, there might be a few hundred more people that even just now know about it and say, oh yeah, well I won the Ace Bowl. I'd like to donate half of it or all of it to that, to the same organization
Well,
or same organization.
that's what's happened. So at one of the tournaments in Indiana, the tournament director said, "Well, the club will match your donation." At the next tournament, they said the club will match your donation. At the next tournament, Brittany Horn donated the 50-50 CTP money
Hmm.
to the organization Hope for Autism that I donated my prize money to. So it does help, and so it's one of those things that, like I said, it's just I
Well,
don't want to self promote it
no,
by promoting myself.
no,
That's
but
not the goal.
but it's I'm glad I know. I've got a big mouth, so I will certainly put it out there. But I
So
think it's
I welcome it because I think it's cool.
it is. It's very cool. Again, very kind and gracious and caring, and yeah, it's just it's incredible. And you may be the inspiration that either gets others to donate, like you're doing, or others to find their own similar way to approach playing. And maybe somebody says, I can't afford to donate all my winnings, but I could afford to donate half of my winnings or whatever. And you might be a catalyst that gets other people to recognize ways that they could be giving back or benefiting somebody else as
Yeah,
well. And I think that's awesome too.
it's if anybody's wondering, and I've said this forever, everything I do is for purely selfish reasons
Hmm.
because I feel good. I put my head down on
Yeah.
the pillow at night and I think, wow, I did something really good today. So I do it for me.
Well,
I admit, I mean, I
no.
admit that.
Yes,
But
but your selfishness for
if you,
you
but if
benefits everyone
right,
else.
but if other people realize that doing those things
Yeah.
will benefit them as well because it makes you feel good, then people do feel good stuff.
Well, and we all know that yes, getting gifts is great, but when you give a gift to anyone, a family member or a friend, Christmas or birthday or whatever, and you give a gift and you get to watch them open it up and the joy and excitement that they have, we all know how good that feels. And in a lot of ways, anytime a donation is given to an organization like you just were saying, that could probably go and serve so many greater purposes than anything you could have done with that money. I mean, we could buy more provisional IPAs, or like you said, a shelter or someone could benefit and make that money stretch in so many more directions, and that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I think so.
Awesome. Is there anything else
Oh my
that you'd
God.
love to share with the world before we let you go? I'm going to run down more stuff from today. That's going to get into a little bit more numbers and other things that are more specific to
Mm.
this event. But from what you have going on and you're tied to the event, is there anything else that
No, I think the tournament director and everybody did a great job dealing with a tough situation, and it's unfortunate that tough decisions had to be made. Dynamic Discs has been a huge supporter of Blue Power events.
mhm,
A lot of the events I've run, Dynamic Discs has been behind, and they even donated the discs for this event out here
awesome. Wow.
without recognition. They didn't ask to be credited for it. They just said, "Here's 40 discs to donate," and everybody knows discs are like gold right now.
Yeah.
And they still took 40 of their discs and donated them. So Dynamic Discs was a part of it, and so were the volunteers.
Well, we know again they're not in it for the credit, but we would still love to provide
Well, they
that. So,
deserve credit.
yeah, thank you so much to Dynamic Disc. Really, I'll say it's really no surprise. I know what it's like being here. I know the community, the atmosphere, and everything that Jeremy and everyone on down the line, what everyone stands for here, the family and just the stewardship, everything that they're doing here is all good stuff, and I appreciate the heck out of it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for everything you do. You guys, you, both you guys, Jonathan, have supported me ever since I came back. You supported everything I've done, even when it was a little weird at the beginning. I was trying to figure out my path. You guys were behind me the whole time and believed in me. So, you guys, I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me.
Of course, well, we like a little weird, so you fit right in.
I know. I think I appreciate that you did. So, thanks, man.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna
All
let
right.
let's do
Can we
this.
shake?
Yeah, let's
All right.
see. Show everybody those. Put those up there so everybody can see them.
Well,
The
of
the most
course.
famous knuckles in all of disc golf, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you. I'm going to let you go,
Yep.
and
Thanks, man.
I'm going to read
Appreciate it.
through a bunch of other stats and specifics from today's tournament. Kind of give my own spin and recap on other stuff. But I'll let you go. You've got a busy day of playing golf and teaching people and all that
Yeah.
other stuff that you do.
I write for Ultra World and PDJ, and I'm busy.
Yeah, exactly.
No complaints.
Well, go relax.
All right. Thanks,
All
man.
right, have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Scott Stokely signing out. Thank you, buddy. All right, so what's it?
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. All right, guys. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can bring up some more of the talk a little bit more specifically about what we're seeing over on. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Here, if you want to set that chair over there, I'm going to get Paige.
Bring Paige back.
Yeah, Paige. I'll take a beer in a minute.
We'll head out.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you
care.
so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. This isn't weird at all, right? Right, Paige? Nope. Good. Okay. See you guys. All right, let's take a look. Of course, if you guys have questions and whatnot, I'd love to get to those and be able to help you out. But I want to take a look at a few of the things that we're seeing over in the national tour side. I think if I click on a few buttons, as always, hang tight. But here, I think if I click on this, I can. This is national tour specifics. And I'm going to go one step further and I'm going to take a look at the FPO action. Oh, spoilers, if you guys didn't know. Spoiler alert. I just want to recap a few things of play on MPO and FPO. Then I'll take some questions and we'll call it here. But Katrina Allen lighting up the scorecard again today. When it was all said and done, what did she rack up? 9 birdies? 1, 2, 3, 9 birdies. That is 3 more than she had yesterday, but she also had 3 more or 2 more bogey strokes than she did yesterday. Well, yesterday into today, that was kind of all goofy with the way that the round played out. When it was all said and done, though, she had 9 birdies. If we click on some of the drill down just a little bit, nothing crazy that jumps out at you. You see her make a couple of putts from circle 2, and then of course a number of the tap ins that she had, but nothing incredibly crazy for her. Really, hole 6 was, uh, yeah, hole 6 was her biggest challenge on the entire day. And in fact, I'd say on the entire weekend. Haley King also, nothing incredibly bizarre. She wasn't throwing in things from circle 2 or outside of circle 2 or anything like that. She had a couple of the OB strokes, which got her on 2 and 8. And then her putting was solid pretty much throughout, but she did manage to rack up quite a few birdies as well. When it was all said and done, did she rack up 10 of them? She had the same score. So 3, 4, 8, 9. She had 10 birdies. Yeah, that makes sense if you do the math. I think probably the only, maybe real surprise when it comes to the scoring was just that Kona Pana started so hot. And that's not the surprising part. Unfortunately, when the course got easier, she struggled. And, I look at the bogeys on 11, 13, 14, and 17. That's when everyone else was scoring. I mean, through that same stretch, Heather Young ends up going, 4 or 5 under. Maria Oliva, who had a great round out there, she shot a 4 under. She picked up a ton of birdies. Kat, Haley, tons of birdies in those areas. And even as you scroll down, you see there's a lot of blue that is right of hole number 10. I mean, if you look at most of the blue that is picked up on the entire FPO field, with the exception of a few on the top, almost all blue is picked up on the latter half of the course. So, really unfortunate that Kona couldn't keep that train rolling. Still ended up having a two down. And if we click here, we'll see that Kat, Haley, both the six unders. Maria, next best score on the day with her four under. Kona with the two. And then from there, Macy, Heather, and Emily all with evens. So that's what we see over there on the FPO side. I'll leave it to Hannah Macbeth to do a even more detailed breakdown and analysis. You'll get that during the live coverage tomorrow. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click though on the MPO side. Well, all right. That just is a sea of blue that is available. Just incredible. Scott had asked before, just before we went live, if this course was easy. I mean, there's a few players that make it look really easy, and it seems like they're picking up birdies. Hole 7 is one of those spots where it's like, okay, hole 7's a little bit of a bonus. However, from 8 on, it's go time. I mean, take a look at Ben Calloway. Let me actually sort. Well, right now it's sorted by hot round, so that will be the conversation. Wysocki, incredible out there. He ended up having the, what was it, the 13 birdies and an eagle. Excuse me. To shoot the hot round of 15 under par. Ben Calloway, Paul Macbeth, both shooting 14s, the teammates there, and then Kelvin Heimberg. It's crazy to say. Well, he had a slow start. He went par on back-to-back holes on 2 and 3. At no other point did you see him have back-to-back pars. Macbeth had a 3-hole par streak. Ugh, washed up. Is that what you guys are yelling? And then the 2 par streak by Ricky on 15 and 16. But man, look at that. Just incredible amount of blue. You see a lot of people struggle on hole 1. Some people bounce back very quickly, others don't, but hole 8 through 14, that's kind of the money zone. Look at all of these players, 8 through 13 or 8 through 14, you know, Cole Redolin, you know, put together a -2 on the day, but that included at 1.6 birdies in a row on holes 9 through 15 or 9 through 14. So you really have to score. Alan Wagner does the same. You just have to score in that stretch. I mean, those are, I don't want to say those are the gimmies, those are the guarantees. I guess it's the same as gimmies. That's the sweet spot. You want to get more outside of those, but you really need to capitalize, because if you miss those, you're definitely losing strokes to everyone else out there. And now let's go do another little quick resort, and we'll sort by position overall. Ben Calloway, your leader. Ben just shredding out there. And I'm not talking about the weight room. Ben putting together the 14 under. That's after parring 2 out of the first 3. He missed hole 7, as so many others did, and then didn't pick up a birdie on hole 5, which clearly, or I'm sorry, hole 12, which is a par 5. Clearly, I mean, look what he did to his next closest competitors. He lost 2 strokes to Eagle, 2 strokes to Ricky, and 2 strokes to Macbeth on that one hole simply by parring it. So that tells you how attackable hole number 12 really is. You want to argue if it should be a par 4 as opposed to a par 5. I mean, I guess you could have that argument. I'm not here to argue, or am I? No, I'm not. Not tonight. But got to go out and score there. Gavin, with a rough start, put together a huge streak. Nate Sexton did the same. Tim Barham. You love seeing when these guys are just rattling off this whole set of birdies. Jake Hebenheimer, holy cow, 2 eagles in 3 holes, getting them on 12 and 14. Going to see if anyone else put together 12 and 14. Isaac Heinen did the same there, getting those 2 eagles. And then if I scroll all the way up, no one else in the top managed to get both 12 and 14, but they're out there. They're accessible. Yeah, looks like you got to be scoring on that back half. Well, if I quite possibly no, I real quick, I did say I might head over and take a look at what we see uh, on some of the AM sides. I want to give a couple quick shout outs because I know they have one round left to go. So I'm going to read off a few of your leaders in advance. Dylan Spellman, Hubert Daniel Jr. They're tied for the lead. Good luck tomorrow in the 100 and 227 remaining players. Advanced women, Allie Smith has a commanding lead over Andrea Kamek. I'm going to go with that. Ray Pittigrew has a lead over Eric Jubin. Just a one-stroke advantage right there. And that is that the Advanced Masters? Yes, it is. Advanced Masters women, Amy Church is leading by 5 over Renee. Advanced Masters, James Lupino, apologize, is tied with Sam Doddfather Dodd. Okay. Sam trying to make it difficult on me. Debbie Polkenhorn is leading over Pamela Dugas. Noami. Wait a minute. Noami Bjerkis, Paige's mom and Grady's mother-in-law and Doug's wife. That's Noami. I saw her working in the warehouse today. So she's out playing golf during the day and working in the warehouse during the day. That is some serious dedication out there. I did not realize she was playing. Am Masters, Tim Martin has a lead right now over Mark Hauser. Rob Lee in the 70 division, and Joel Dudley in intermediate. Looks like that's going to be interesting how that plays out because it looks like they've played. Some of them have played different courses. No, Joel was in the GF pool, the girlfriend pool against the friends and family pool, over Shane Sandberg, or tied with Shane at the moment. Holy cow! There's a 1,000,001 in that division. Intermediate women, Brianna Miller is leading over Kathy Kuhn by 5. Tim Mundy leads over Luke. Oh, you guys have to do this. Stool sats? Yeah. Let's keep scrolling. I'm fully committed here. Oh my gosh, did I get everybody? I'd feel bad if I then missed any division. Yep, got it. Good luck to everyone. Good luck. Once you go committed like that, then I have to. All right. I'm not gonna lie. There's times where you walk around town, or you might be in a building or a facility, or sometimes here in the studio and you're the last one, and you turn and you look, and then there's Paige. She's great and all, but sometimes she can freak you out. All right. I'm going to read a few questions and then I'm going to cut out of here. I'm the last person in the studio, and there's some other stuff we're going to have to get to. I will do my best to read through the chat and see what is going on with you guys. I scroll up. Mars had said, great interview. I appreciate it. Thank you to Scott Stokely, of course, for stepping in. It was, believe it or not, that was arranged about 3 minutes before we went live. He was in the area. He stepped in. It was great to catch up with him and get some insight. So glad to do so. How do you feel about the replacement for the Beaver State Fling? Is that the Resistance event? If so, sounds good to me. I mean, we want to give the opportunities for our elite level players to be playing for money, and then to have media coverage. A replacement event hopefully will check all those boxes. I can't say I know a lot of details outside of that right now. Is that replacement going to be on DGN? I believe it's going to be a Silver Series event. Maybe. I feel bad. I don't know. I can now confidently tell everybody I don't have all the answers anymore. I used to at one point. Sometimes I'm not privy to those answers. So I don't recall off the top of my head if I heard if it's going to be Silver Series or if it's going to be it's not going to be an Elite Series event. That much I do know. I think I know. So I think that means it's a Silver Series event. Um, Shift One Photo, thank you for the contributions last night. I recognize the name. Was hoping that Jen Allen would get up there. Yeah, I'd love to see Jen Allen. It's her short game. It's a little bit of touch sometimes on the approaches, but it's her short game that seems to hold her back. So I'm hoping we can see her pull through and get that situated. What ended up being Ezra's reading for dropping? I didn't hear reason for dropping. I don't know if it was ever mentioned. Oh, you guys are saying it. Food poisoning. Okay. Well, apparently it was mentioned because it was food poisoning. That's what I had heard at least. Uh, all right. You guys are talking about beans. That's expected then once Ezra's name comes up. Um, oh my gosh, somebody super chatting. What are you doing, Keith? Well, I appreciate that, Keith. That is very, very kind of you to pull into the super chat into my direct feed here on the Disc Golf Guy channel. I appreciate that. Um, Interview planned. Is there an interview planned with Crazy John Brooks? I don't have one planned, but if you know me, I don't have a lot of things planned. So, no, there's currently not an interview planned with Crazy, but I tell you, if he walked through that door right now, I would absolutely love to interview him. So maybe tomorrow night, maybe the night after, we'll have to see what can happen. Um, Ray says, very cool to have extra pros like Perkins and Coling be able to do live on a whim. Yeah, and I of course very much appreciate them both joining us. They've been great assets. I know Germ just didn't sign up in time. I don't know if he knows that disc golf touring is his full-time job, but I don't know about Nate. I don't know if Nate didn't sign up in time and is in the exact same boat as Germ. I don't know if he had a conflict in schedule initially that then changed. I'll have to ask Nate myself because I don't know the story. I know Germ just didn't sign up in time, and maybe that's the exact same story for Nate. But having them both being able to take on a little bit different role in being part of live as opposed to what they're typically involved with, which is post production, has of course it's been great. So really glad to make it happen. Yes, Milo is under major repair as they're talking. B pool issue today. What happened? Uh, B pool. Is that the Pro Masters? I don't think anything happened. If so, you could maybe go to the other now the other stream from what Scott had mentioned. Basically, their round had started on Wednesday, but then it was called, and then it was officially postponed until today. So, but then some of the holes were unplayable at one or more of the courses, and so they only played a 14-hole round. And then that's what officially counted when it was all said and done. Tomorrow, the B pool specifically will play at least the Pro Masters 40 and 50. I know I saw they'll play Jones Gold long layout, which is the same layout that the MPOs played today. That's what happened. So they're going to ultimately play 14 holes and 18 holes, and they will have a 32-hole tournament, which is I mean, they were supposed to play 54 holes, 3 rounds of 18, and now they're going to ultimately play a 32-hole tournament, which, as I joked with Scott, is very bizarre, but that's that's weather. That's just crazy conditions. There's really not much more that can be done or said about it. Top score estimates for Country Club. It's a good question. I'd have to look at last year. What was being played? What were the scores for the DD Open last year, or the Dynamic Disc Open? I want to give it its full branding there. I would have to do some more clicking. Okay, well, just because I like you guys so much and you like to watch me sit and scroll through things, I'm going to see if I can type in 2020. Oops, Dynamic. Whoa. Open. As I click on that for the 2020 version, here we go. Paul Macbeth was your winner. Spoiler alert. He shot a 54, a 53, and a 64. So last round, not as impressive. I think that was to win it by one. He shot a 1085, a 1084, and a 1031 rated round to finish it out. Calvin, let's look at someone. Well, there was no one that was 100% consistent throughout the 3 days. Calvin did the reverse essentially and got better as the weekend went on. He ended up coming up a stick short of Paul Macbeth. He shot a 60, which was rated 1049. He shot a 57, rated 1058, and then he shot a 55, which was rated 1083. So he improved throughout the day. So uh, par out there is listed, at least for last year, was listed at 65. So he shot a 5 under, an 8 under, and a 10 under to get to 23, where Macbeth had shot a 24. So I don't know, do that math, and you take Paul's 24 under on the weekend, you divide it by 3, shoot it, give you an average of 8. I think there's something to be said about those numbers. Weather for tomorrow, I'm going to do a super quick look on that for you guys. Be like your Alexis or your Google. You guys just ask questions and then I don't know answers, so I go look them up for you. Happy to do so. Let's take a look for Emporia. I use weather.com. You guys might have fancier tools at your disposal. Currently 61 degrees. Let's click on the 10-day forecast. That is showing us 81 and sunny tomorrow with winds just 9 miles an hour, 3% chance of precipitation. And on Saturday, holy cow, it's going to be May 1st already. Partly cloudy with wind and winds of 21 miles an hour. Wow. All right. What are the odds Terry ends up with some of those IPA cutouts for the storage and collection? Maybe. Do you think the scores will reset with course change? Scores will reset. I don't know what you mean by reset. I don't think we're going to see any crazy shifts. I don't think you're going to see Ricky drop to 49th. I don't think you're going to see Ben Calloway dip to 102nd. I don't think you're going to see someone that's -7 come out and shoot a pair of -12s. Yeah, I think the best are going to keep doing what they do. And then you can postulate as to who's going to handle the wind and the pressure best on Saturday when it does get really windy out here. Have you played this mini disc golf course in the bar somewhere in town? A number of years ago, the Bourbon Cowboy. I may have found myself over there. I may have ridden a bull. I don't know. I may have participated in some activities once or twice there, and I did play some mini golf. They set up. Uh, it's tough to. I mean, it's a course, but it's tough to call it that because it's not like you have specific design fairways that you must navigate through. They set up baskets all around the. It's a very large place, and they set up baskets. You play to those, uh, like disc golf is played, but um, you're crossing your fairways and you're throwing around within a large open space within a bar and some other areas. It's a good time. Um, talking about you want to see Rick get it. I will talk about that in a moment, but Ricky wins a third worlds really changes the narrative. Yeah, I mean that obviously keeps Paul at 5, puts Ricky to 3. Can do some math there. That things makes things a lot closer. Um, Terry said take Wysocki and McBeast. Yeah, I mean Eagle, you certainly cannot be counting Eagle out. His power, and you have to say the same of Kelvin. And I know this all sounds pretty obvious. I'm talking about what 4 out of the best 5 players in the world, or 4 out of the top 4 players in the world. I mean, where does Chris Dickerson sit? Obviously he's not too far behind either. So I am saying you're not going to find someone that's 8 or 10 off the pace. I just don't see them making up enough strokes on all of those talented players in front of them to actually vie for the title. That's what I would say to that. Can't wait to play this event. The DG Beat says, and Terry putting in the work. EMAC. Uh, Ricky Who, bring back the champ. And Terry, do you sleep, homie? Disc golf does not deserve you. I appreciate that, Daddy Disc Golf. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm trying to make a more concerted effort to get some sleep. I was listening to a really interesting podcast on the 10-hour drive down here on Monday. And a lot of people, I know Alyssa Van Lannen and others have really spoke of how crucial sleep is. And it's the first thing I sacrifice at big tournaments, small tournaments, almost on the daily. And I'm just wondering if I took sleep a little bit more seriously and I actually found a way to commit to 7 or more hours on the regular, I wonder if that could improve potentially my overall health, my weight. Um, uh, this podcast also talked about memory and how your memory is affected, and I'm not drawing a blank. I'm trying to think of how to word this. I think to so many events and how I've been at most of the biggest tournaments in the world, most of them, not everyone, but most over the last 8 or 10 years. And I try to draw from various memories. And of course, I have them. But knowing I've been in the thick of it, whether it's been recording or interviewing or live shot calling, I feel like I should remember even more of those moments because I consider myself to have a good memory. And what I'm getting at here is there is a direct correlation that they were talking about how things are cemented in your memory then correlates to also the sleep that you're getting. And I always think the biggest tournaments are then the events that I get the least sleep at. And is that why my memories of disc golf tournaments aren't as vivid as I really think they should be? Those are all things I'm thinking about when I'm driving down the road. So I don't know, but I'm gonna try to get more sleep. The trade-off for that is timelines, releases, videos. I mean, the gatekeepers downstairs probably right now as we speak. Jomez is probably just outside of this building. Ace Run Pro, all of those guys, GK Pro. Uh, Post-production life is brutal. It's brutal because we've set ourselves up with that expectation of that very quick turnaround for the next day. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like it's absolutely brutal. And it depends on how large your crew is and how well you're able to either pay and or delegate those responsibilities. And sleep sleep is usually the first thing that goes. And when your videos aren't out and people are hammering you on social because they want to see the latest release. There's a lot of pressure that goes along with that. Thankfully for me, sitting here and just talking to you guys, well, there's not a lot of pressure there. All right, I'm going to take a few more questions. I say that all the time and then I never close out, but I really should start closing it out. um, buy a bicycle, it'll change your life. The problem with that is I need to get out and commit to riding it. Um, I should play more disc golf too to mentally break away from the other things that I'm doing. And I've got courses, I've designed courses. There's opportunities. I could take my bag and play in a lot of places, and I choose not to. And that's usually because I opt to work instead, and that's on me. The lawnmower guy is ruthless. I don't know who that's in reference to. When did you start using the disc golf guy as your nickname before the YouTube channel? No, they were the same thing. And I say that because I read a book, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's now a billionaire, and he's in the social media marketing space. He wrote a very tiny book that I read in one night, and um, it just talked about branding, talked about influencing, and which wasn't even a word at the time, but it did talk about branding and the power of social media. And I have been often nicknamed T Dog, and when I was trying to think about what I would do if I were to start a vlog, I just thought how everybody referred to me 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago as the disc golf guy. If I go to a parks meeting, it's, oh, hey, that's the disc golf guy is here. And they refer to you generically as the disc golf guy. And every one of you that's watching or listening has been probably referred to as that. You go to your child's school and you're known as the disc golf guy. The, oh yeah, it's Amber's dad, the disc golf guy, the one that comes in and does her clinic every once every year. And that was just something I've always was referred to as anyway. And I thought, well, yeah, I'll just own that. I mean, I go to schools, I go to youth groups, I go to parks departments, I bring discs uh, to retailers, and just everyone referred to me as that. So I just said, well, I'll just call myself that. And I knew it was a given because the disc golf guy, you take out one letter and you had T Dog, which I always spelled with two G's, because I'm a G, but I'm not. So TDOGG, and then the disc golf guy. It was a sign. It was the only sign I needed. The disc golf guy was available on every social media platform. I registered the website that night. I started the YouTube channel. I'm still talking about it. So there you go. Um, Zachariah says, I think it has been a rapid change and you have been covering great. Chris says, thank you. Things I'm thinking when I'm driving down the road. New podcast, Terry. I've often threatened the idea of a new podcast, and I do have a couple of really good ideas. I just need to sit down and do them. I've talked about them for way too long to not do it. So I need to make that happen. Derek from Gatekeeper is my dude. If you see him, tell him DDG says what's up. Well, like I said, he might be downstairs right now. Um, Eric McCabe, he had a cameo on Jomez practice round coverage with Jerem, Yulee, and Sexton. I think you're talking about the lawnmower guy, who I don't know what you're talking about. And if you're saying I must not watch Jomez, I don't. I just told Derek from Gatekeeper, I said, sorry if you release something I haven't seen. I don't watch other channels, and it's not a competitive thing. It's not an ego thing. It's a hours in the day kind of thing. I The last thing I usually want to do is ever sit down and watch disc golf after doing what I've been doing. EMAC, where are you at? If we go live tomorrow night, if I go live, me and the mouse in my pocket, you need to be joining me. I could probably look out the window and see your house light on from where I'm at the country club, right, EMAC? All right, the dude mowing the grass during the Jomez round ran over Yuli's disc and almost took out Nate. Okay, well that's funny then. Maybe I should go find that. When I first saw your channel like 8 years ago, I said, "What makes this guy thinks he's the disc golf guy?" Somebody just called me out on that in Jonesboro a few weeks ago. An older gentleman. It's like, "Why do you get to call yourself the disc golf guy?" I was first to the Twitter handle, bro. I realize you're 60 or 70. You maybe started playing golf way before me. I mean, in my opinion, Ken Climo should have been the disc golf guy. I mean, sorry, I just claimed it, and I understand some people, some people may be upset by that. Um, that's life. How did Adam Sandler say it? I have the microphone and you don't. I think he yelled that at you in Wedding Singer. All right. Um, if we didn't have T Dog, we wouldn't have this. So I appreciate it. Um, Yes, EMAC, I love it. He says he's close to Jones Gold. Well, to be fair, if you're close to Jones Gold, you're still not that far away from the country club, as you know, everything in Emporia. I made the joke before I went live that I thought I was missing a cable. I said, oh my gosh, I have to go all the way across town to get this cable from my hotel. It's like a full 4 minutes. So uh, Emporia living is quaint and exciting and close, and we gotta love that. People, you've been amazing. I think I'm gonna stick around for an extra minute or two. Oh man, should I do it right now? Ah, okay, okay. I'm gonna have to chop it up later anyway. So here's what I'm gonna do. And some of you might be super excited. Maybe some of you had participated. I've been working with Dave Felberg to give you guys some next gen statistics, updates from the previous weekend. And this is going off the rails there. So if this interests you, please stick around. If it doesn't, I'm not offended either. But I do want to go through some next gen stuff from this last weekend's roundup. I'm going to also then cut this out and put this on in a separate video on its own. But while you guys are here, I, I might as well rattle this stuff off for you because I'm going to be doing it anyway, and I'm already recording, so that works out really well. Um, thank you to the Disc Golf Network for me using your lights and just leaving the backdrop up as I'm using the studio here today. And let me see if I can find. I know you guys love the on-air production. Ooh, see if I can read a few things while I look for this. April 27th seems to make sense. That's probably the last one. I read through these last week. I'm going to do some reading. It looks like this one's a little bit shorter this week. So I'm going to give you guys that in a moment. But also, Eric says Disc Golf Planet TV days is when I first came across the Disc Golf Guy logo. Yeah, that makes sense. I volunteered with John Duzler and Terry Roddy, as they were killing it, working to do Disc Golf Planet, and I was with that organization volunteering and cutting my teeth. Is that what they say? Everything I learned about doing disc golf broadcasting essentially came from direction from those guys originally. So go yell at them if I'm failing you, because that was my only formal training. EMAC truth. EMAC. I need your truths. Can you? What do I got to do to set some of those aside or find a way for me to get my hands on a few? I don't know if I'll be ready for your block party. So we also have to talk about that. I'm just calling out favors on the air. All right. Hair is looking good. It's been a long day, Corny. I appreciate that. I had to get up extra early to do the FPO action. And if I would have known I wasn't even going to be on camera for the FPO, I wouldn't have showered. I wouldn't have done my hair that early. It's holding up. Look at E. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pretend like we're starting from scratch. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Next Gen recap. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I'm going to recap what we've seen over the last week on the Next Gen Tour. You guys ready for this? All right. Maybe I should get it right. NADGT? Dave, what do you want me to call it? I feel like I'm so old school. I always call it the Next Gen Tour. Let's do that again. Take two. Take three. Hello, everyone. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, along with Paige Shue. We're going to give you the weekly recap for the NADGT. Here it is for April 23rd through the 25th. We've got some tournament results coming to you guys. First of all, let's start with Confluence. Our winner was John Brown Pash. He doesn't have a rating, but he won by 4 strokes, shooting -13. Over at Westwood, we had Joseph Garland, 953 rating, tied for first, but shot -5. And then the Southern View Classic Course, Casper Peters, 931 rating, won by 3 strokes, shooting a -12. Casper, that was his first career win. And Joseph, that was his 5th career win. So congratulations to those guys. Other winners. I'm going to rattle through these for you guys. Make sure you're tagging these people, letting them know that we're giving some shout out here. And as I said last week and the weeks moving forward, I'm looking forward to seeing and recognizing these names. By the time we get to the end of the year, hopefully these will all be household names that we're seeing at the finale. And hopefully I'm interviewing a number of you by the time we get there. Again, at the Confluence, Joshua Fritz winning Masters 40 and over. First win since the 2008 Grand Valley Ice Bowl. Also, Brandon Stuke intermediate winner there, third career win. All of them have been NADGT events. Also, Ryan Sparks, the recreational winner, first career win. Congratulations to you. As we head over to Westwood, Jack Grammer, advanced women's winner, sixth career win. Stephen Rogers, Masters 40 plus winner. That is the third win of 2021. Paige, does that deserve a provisional IPA? She agrees. John Lakenin, yeah, Masters 50 plus, 14th career win. And Carter Rogers, the junior winner, with the second career win and the first since 2017. Over at Southern View, Landon Williams, the Masters 40 plus winner, 33rd career win. First win came back in 2006. Guys, leave that in the chat. I'd love to know when your first career win came. What year was that in? All right, there were some aces throughout the weekend. Matt Cook at Confluence, hole number 5. Jeremy Sauter at Westwood, hole number 17. Mikey Siebert at Southern View, hole number 11. And Edward Garcia at Southern View, hole number 5. So congratulations to all of the aces. Looks like there were 4 of them. Overall, we had 73 advanced players. There were 40 masters players, 78 intermediate players, 64 recreational players, 12 junior players. That's for a grand total of 267 total players this week, bringing the grand total, pause, wait for it, last week plus this week's 267 brings you to 4,113 total players this season. Pretty cool to see. Player rankings. I'm going to read through a few of these for you guys. Ryan Majors, 1501. Kyle Harrigan. Missing you here, Kyle, as I'm coming to you guys from Emporia. I haven't seen you. Maybe you're here. There's like 10,000 other people here. But Kyle Harrigan, 1414 in the player rankings. Russ, 1354. Justice Martinez at 1147. And Clay McGee at 1110. So there's your your player rankings. Also, I've got a note here that 14 of the top 15 players in the overall point standings are from Colorado. That doesn't sound shisty at all. The outlier, Xavier, is from Michigan. So, all right, Michigan, keep going at it. You're currently helping avoid the overall top 15 sweep. Advanced women leader Britt Sawyer with 101 points, 25 points clear of second place. So a little bit shorter on this weekend's recap. As we saw, again, 276 players or 267 players this last weekend. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and for enjoying the NADGT weekly recap for April 23rd through the 25th. We'll be back next week with a recap for you after all the standings are tabulated over there as well. Thanks to Ryan and the crew, along with Dave and everyone else. We'll catch you guys next week for that recap. Cut. Clear. Okay. There you guys go. That is your NADGT weekly roundup. I'm going to cut that section out. I'm so lazy. I'm just doing shows within shows. I'm going to cut that section out in all seriousness. And I'm going to also post that to Facebook in the next day or two. Please tag your friends, click on your friends, let everybody know so we can get these proper kudos and shout outs for everyone to see. I'm going to read through a few of your wins. Maybe some of you guys didn't have any. Awkward. Ray says this is fun behind the scenes. Appreciate it. No wins yet for Zachariah. 2000 never by Cameron. Has Grady Shue gone back on tour? Haven't seen him much since they had their baby. He's playing more than Paige, but not playing in really a lot of the really big events just yet. So I think he's probably going to have more of a home base of North Carolina for a little bit longer, at least a little bit longer. And I think I'm interested to see how they're going to how they're going to game plan. Both of them trying to be competitive disc golfers while being newlyweds and very fresh parents. I mean, there's all, you look at an Emerson Keith, for instance, as well. I mean, they were committed to being in an RV on the tour, on the road, really from day one. That was a plan. Not every family and situation are looking to emulate that. Some that may pull off the tour, or I here's what I will say: I can predict we're not going to see Grady go it alone and jump out on the tour for 4 or 6 or 8 months at a time, leaving Paige and Savannah behind. So whether they'll tour together, that make there's I'm sure a number of other factors there. I'll have to dig a little deeper on that. That's a great question. I honestly don't know what this is. I'm behind on something. Shift one says, uh, yes, it's a show within a show. Is this T Dogs Talks? There's a lot of ways we could go about this. Guys, let's call it. I've got to go to the Bourbon Cowboy. Somebody gave me a super chat earlier. That means I should take it to the Bourbon Cowboy. And I'm sure Emac's there. Right, Emac? You're down at the Bourbon Cowboy? I'll see you down. I'll see you down there. Everyone, I do seriously appreciate your patience. I know this got cut up into two shows already tonight because somehow the internet died for a moment. Thank you to Scott Stokely for joining a little bit earlier, and giving us all the updates. He's got an incredible amount of stuff going on. He's working really hard and doing it for all what looks to be all the right reasons, and then offering up lessons and clinics and the things that he's doing to help make better golfers out there, I think is pretty incredible as well. Just so much knowledge, so much passion for the game, and the excitement that he brings as he's traveling around the country so that he can share it with everybody from around. So it's been a lot of fun. For your wrap up of day two at the Dynamic Disc Open, for your NADGT wrap up, for everyone that's not here with me at the Emporia Country Club, for EMAC Eric McCabe, one of the greatest guys in disc golf, and for Paige Shue and the provisional IPA. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, signing out. If things get sideways, maybe we'll see you again tomorrow night for something similar. Until then, have a good night. Bye. Leave.